It's a full collaborative process. What advice would you give to others who are perhaps starting out to use a bit more, intelligence and automation, using a computational design approach for moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to sort of summarize what is it you're trying to achieve out of the process. And I think, the title of this webinar is probably, for architects or someone or anyone, I suppose, the catchphrase of automation for project efficiency is a bit of a catchphrase. But when you look across the phases of a project, like we sort of did from design through to the sort of documentation and coordination, there's some real sense behind using automation makes sense, I think, along the way. So when you look back at those sort of ideas that we're sort of saying along the way, in design, you can make really sort of great gains in even small steps as you're sort of moving along through the process. Exploration through iteration is key, I think, to design. Those little iteration, speeding up the time between those sort of design changes is really going to keep up with the project demands, but then also give you a little bit more time to actually come up with some different options and hopefully come up with a better design. Access for all, I think, is a key one. Providing any automation tools you can across all staff is going to be a huge advantage to anyone. The efficiencies we've found in just being able to have a small tool and you can give that out to everyone, it's exponential once you actually get everyone to use that on a daily basis. I think the other one we talked about was recursion, and it's probably still a bit of a niche operation for a lot of us. But when you can get the system to actually look at what it's doing and make a small decision and then continue on with the next decision, it really opens up some possibilities to make that iteration process a little bit more sort of dynamic with the models themselves. And so when in documentation, similarly, I think really there's a key of doing some numbers at the beginning. So like I showed, we've got a tower of, say, with 8,000 panels on it versus, a small rise tower that might only have a few hundred panels on it. Well, how you address that in documentation terms is going to be completely different, and what your deliverables might be. So just keep in mind that, when you've got sort of an approach on one project may not be suited for another one. Repetition, anything that you repeat on a daily basis is definitely what automation is built for, isn't it? So anything you can actually do to get any repetition into a computational workflow is just going to be great. Similarly, repurposing data, like I've shown, if you can repurpose anything you have and not have to redo it, it's going to be an easy gain for everyone. And updates, anything you can do to run updates on models or take data and update using, like I showed with, say, dynamic views or other things like that, is going to be a great and welcome by the whole design team, I think. So, and when it comes to coordination, I think we're only just expanding this area. But the use of graphics, I think, for architects along the way has been a great insight into the sort of graphics versus numbers approach that we've sort of taken on some of our projects to try and show that data that you're daily looking at, and you may not visually trigger that it's different. But that's been a great sort of step towards coordination, I think, along the way. And then reusing that data, obviously, to build models. So you're using the same data along the way, I think. And adaptation, as we sort of shown, adapting other people's, whether it's in your format or another format, it really doesn't matter. But can you adapt that information to actually use it so it's a great, I think, way of coordinating and reducing errors along that sort of coordination process, I think. I think one of the advice I'd sort of give is that stereotype thing, automation doesn't equal cookie cutter design. I think that's a key sort of variable I like to just put out there, I suppose. How you approach automation, I think, although needs to be an integral part of your project workflows and in line with what you're shooting for your efficiencies. It may not be the same project efficiencies someone else is looking for, but for our project efficiencies might be different to you. So it's nearly to be measured between practices is going to be different, and even between projects. Some projects, the efficiencies on some projects might be in just the speed of production, whereas others might be we want to get a better design, so we're looking for the efficiencies in actually producing more designs. So I think all of this sort of works. We can all benefit from the smallest implementation of sort of automation along the way. Hopefully, working towards their goal of working smarter, I think. So I think it'd be great to hear some questions, I think, and thanks for having a bit of a discussion with me and working about what automation might be.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.